Okay guys, hope you're well. We're going to go and look at the Trader Clinic and Ask Scruff. And really I'm just catching up. So let's have a little look. So we come down here and it's for Casper. Little salute to you, kid. This is quite an interesting question. And there's not really a right or wrong answer to it. But I'll kind of give my opinion. Overall, my trading is going well. Good stuff. However, I've noticed that when I'm in a trade, my emotions rise. Okay. That's not uncommon. It is normal when you're starting out. Now, if you look at my emotional dial, yours will be up to about 8 on a scale of 10. Mine's down to about 2 because I'm just doing a repetitive set of sequences, and that actually keeps your emotions down, but there's a bit more to it than that. I stay as rational as possible and I can control my emotions well during the trade, but I've been wondering how to manage mental fatigue. This is the part that I find is quite interesting because that is tied directly to something, and I'll touch on that as well. Here's what I've noticed. Enter a trade and focus. As price moves, heartbeat rises, feel a bit anxious. This tension only eases after I close the trade, whether I win or lose. Since I take multiple trades a day, I go through this cycle, and at the end of it, I feel drained. Okay, you're kind of answering your own question within this to a degree. My position sizing is fine. Is it? I'm confident in my trades, good, and my strategy is good. Hopefully, I'd like to think where the scruff and what have you has helped you get there. I'm not too sure why this happens. How do I stay calm and prevent trading? Right, okay, here we go. So I'll unpack this in bits because there is quite a bit to it. Okay. First of all, you see, as soon as you enter a trade, your emotions rise. Now that can come down to a couple of elements. It's the gambling side of you and the sort of testosterone, because the thing when you're a young kid, and I know you're a young kid and you're a good looking little sod, but I hate you anyway. Nah, I love him to bits. He's a good kid. You've got youth against you. When you're youthful, and I was the same as a young man, you want to win. You've got to do it, testosterone. You've got to calm that down. Now, there is another element to this as well. You say that when you're in the trade, the emotions rise. That actually could be tied directly to your trade size. Because, believe it or not, you might think your sizing correct, but once you see a trade on, you've got the excitement of the trade, which is the gambling trade, the testosterone. That can lead to over trading, and that's in this question, and I'll come back to it. But it's also your position size is the first key part. If it's too big, it will frighten you. But not only will it frighten you, it's got the other side of the coin as well. If it's too big and it goes for you, it excites you. Because like, oh my God, look at that. What you want is a position size that's actually so small in relation to whatever it is you're looking at. It doesn't matter. And this thing of like 2% account and all of that, it's just absolute bullshit, right? It really is. You can actually size based on your mental state. And that's why I tell you to ask the questions. Is it worth it? Can I afford it? If you agree to the trade before you press the button, in other words, you know how much it's going to cost if you're wrong. Doesn't matter about if you're right. The money will look after itself if it's right. It's like the old saying, look after the pennies, the pounds look after themselves. It's when you're wrong you want to be paying attention to. And you should be able to measure that out relatively quickly before you go to market. If that figure frightens you, you will automatically be in a high emotion state the moment you press that button. But if you agree to it before you press the button, in other words, you agree it's going to cost X amount of pounds against your account and you're prepared to pay it, your emotions don't rise. because you've already agreed to it. Okay? Now, the next part of it is you sort of say about you try to stay as rational as possible. That's the perfect scenario. You do want to be rational. You never want to be on a heightened state of gambling. But here it goes. As the price moves against you, your heart rate increases. Well, that goes back to what I've just said about position sizes. It's racing because you're either frightened of it or you're excited by it, or you're excited for gambling. If it's any one of them three, there's a big problem. And that big problem will come and bite you. It genuinely will. And the anxiety side of it is fear. And fear is one of the worst things you can have. Now, there is FOMO, the fear of missing out. Doesn't matter. If you miss a trade, there's another one going to come along. You just got to be patient. But if you're fearful while you're in the trade, I'm going back to position size and how much it's going to cost. Should never be there. Okay? The tension only eases after you close the trade. That's because that's relief. Okay? Got out of that one. Didn't get hurt. You know? So that is a problem. But then you say you trade multiple times a day. Depends on your definition of multiple times. I trade once or twice and then I'll manage each of those trades. That's it. You know? That keeps me calm as well. And it also stops the fatigue. Because if you try and go to market every hour for 12 hours and you're going in and in and in and in, you can't do it. You can't concentrate that long. You know, you have spurts. And when you're having that spurt, it can be for 2 or 3 hours and then just calm it down and walk away. When I see these clowns on YouTube and they've got like 5 or 6 assets all stacked up and they're on minute charts and they're flicking from this chart to the next chart and to the next chart going, oh yeah, this is that and this is that. There's no way you can do that sustained for a long period of time. No way. Right? Emotionally, it'll kill you, but you'll also make mistakes because you're not concentrating on a single asset. So my advice when you're saying, how do you stop that is very simple. You trade less. So if you're trading 10 times a day, trade 5. Half everything. Like I say, I'm down to 1 or 2 a day. Yes, you guys goad me and I'll go back to market, but I always have a good break from one trade to the next. And that way, I'm always looking at it with fresh eyes. I look at it calm. And I've already done my homework because I've had time to do it. If you've got multiple assets running, you cannot do your homework. In other words, you're gambling. And there's a big thing about gambling. Saying you shouldn't call us gamblers. We're traders. You're not traders. You're fucking gamblers. Right? A trader does his homework. A trader knows what he's looking for. A trader enters when it's correct, takes what the market's willing to give, and when they're wrong, they accept it. That's a trader. A gambler just fucking goes at it. And then says, yes, I've got a winner. Woohoo! That's not trading. That's the excitement of the win. I get excited when I win, but that's just because I enjoy winning, not because I took a gamble in the first place. I hope that's coming through. Now, because I trade once or twice, that stops me from draining. And because I'm planned and I'm methodical, that stops it as well. All right. So I'm not drained. I'm actually quite calm, refreshed. And then you move forward. The next part of it is what time frame you're looking at. I look at hourly charts mainly. Take my signal from an hour. I might enter on a 5 and a 15-minute chart, but I always go back to the hour for exit. So I'm trading into the entry and I'm trading out for the exit. And what that means is I'll go down the time frames to enter, but I'll go up the time frames to get out. Hold you in the trade longer. You don't see the candles dance, so that stops your heartbeat bouncing around like there's no tomorrow. Makes life simple. And then you go, position sizing is fine. So after that little chat, revisit your sizing. You're confident in your trade. Well, if you're confident in your trade, you shouldn't be frightened of them, which means you shouldn't be anxious. So what you're talking about is back to sizing. If the trades are right, but you're anxious, the sizing's wrong, and your strategy's good. And that's it. So how do I stay calm? Well, a lot of it's to do with experience, but it's because I trade less. My win rate is incredibly good, but I don't trade as much as what half people think. When I do sort of things like 200 to 2,000, it looks massive amounts of trades. It's not. It's only 1 or 2 per day, broken up into 5 separate positions. And I'll manage each one of those positions on a separate basis. And because I break it up like that, I'm always looking at little numbers. And it doesn't stress me out. So that's how I do it. And the other thing is, I don't watch the screen either. I'll play chess. I'll talk to Winky. You know, I'll go downstairs, get a cup of coffee. I'll read a book. Or I'll watch something on YouTube to pass the time. Plenty of things, but I don't watch the candles. Once I'm in the trade, I'm fine. I let it breathe and I let each monitoring candle close. So if it's 15 minute, I'll let that 15 minute close. If it's an hourly, I'll let the hourly close. And I'll either hit target or I'll have to adjust what I'm doing. That's what keeps me calm. So I hope that helps. It's my strange way of looking at things, but ultimately, just trade less. And you'll find you'll make far more money. Anybody tells you you're just in and out of minute charts all the time, they're fucking morons. They really are. And you'll destroy your account. But if you trade once a day and you traded well once a day, you'll find the end of the month you've got a decent amount of money. Because it doesn't take long to start building up a fund. And I've shown you guys in the squad what that can be done. And there are only 1 or 2 trades a day. So that's the key. Less is more. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you on the next one.